As far as ridiculous titles go, I think this one might be up there.
It is, isn't it? But you know what? It's all true, and that's what makes it fun. David Bowie was a powerful man who possibly had a multitude of magical powers. In recognition of this and his ginormous musical penis, writer Neil Gaiman saw to it that the Thin White Duke would live on forever as one of the most powerful characters in DC Comics canon.
The most powerful character in DC?
Yes.
Clearly David Bowie isn't Superman, so who are we talking about?
Yeah, because obviously Superman is like Nick Cage, we all know that. People don't know, we just got a quick side note. There was going to be a film when Nick Cage plays Superman, and I think he was going to fight a giant spider.
My father wore this cape. This cape comes from a long line of Kryptonians who were at the top of their field in science and law.
He's so good. There's clips of him flying out there, and it actually looks alright.
I didn't know there were clips of it. I know there's a picture.
Kevin Smith did a documentary where he managed to track down some like the early test footage of Superman flying.
Then watching Nick Cage in an outfit land, it was kind of like, whoa, there's Superman, the Nick Cage version.
Anyway, right, we're not talking about Superman, we're talking about Lucifer Morningstar, who is roughly analogous. He's a character who can be roughly compared, because I can't say that other word, to the Lucifer of biblical canon. Like his Bible counterpart, the Lucifer of DC canon was given absolute dominion over hell by God. However, unlike his Bible-thumping counterpart, Lucifer in DC decided, fuck this, stopped ruling hell, went to Earth and opened a bar in LA. Aren't comics fun?
So this character is DC's, like, the literal devil incarnate for DC?
Pretty much, yeah.
What can he do?
Basically anything. In addition to being like functionally immortal and invincible to all forms of conventional harm, he's also strong enough to throw a truck into orbit and possesses an intellect so keen he could beat cyborg Stephen Hawking in a chess match. In addition to these more mundane superpowers, Lucifer has a number of, shall I say, more unusual abilities that are probably a bit more fun to talk about.
Which abilities are these?
The ability to warp and manipulate all forms of matter on a near cosmic scale, and the ability to, and this is my favourite part, summon the power of the sun to obliterate his enemies.
So you keep saying that Lucifer Morningstar looks like Bowie, and
yes,
he does,
I do.
Clearly from the picture he does.
And the audience can see the picture you've put up behind me, yeah.
Now, is this intentional, or are you playing this up for the article?
No, this is 100% intentional, because when the writer who created Lucifer, Neil Gaiman, was thinking, okay, so what should a character this powerful look like? And he naturally settled on David fucking Bowie. And he went to the illustrator who was drawing, Lucifer Morningstar, draw me fucking David Bowie. And I will find a quote now, if you just give me a moment, we can put in the inconspicuous cut that we normally do while I dig up the quote. Do. Okay, so we're back, and I found the quote from that artist, when they were talking to Neil Gaiman about what Lucifer Morningstar should look like. And Neil Gaiman was reported as saying, in regards to how the character should be drawn, you must draw David Bowie. Find David Bowie, or I'll send you David Bowie. Because if it isn't David Bowie, you're going to have to redo it until it is David Bowie. So do you know what they did? They drew David fucking Bowie.
I like how there's not a single bit of...
There's
no question there.
There is absolutely no room for interpretation about what he wanted that character to look like. It's not like, oh yeah, we took inspiration from the look... No, this character is literally David fucking Bowie. How cool is that? It's such a good character, and I love the idea they based it on David Bowie, but obviously Bowie had no fucking idea about it, evidently, because he didn't sue the arse off the people who did it. And it's sad that we could have had a movie while he was still alive where he played the literal personification of Satan. Because he's so good in all his movies, isn't he? It's like he's only in them for a little bit, like Labyrinth, like the Goblin King. And then he's in
Zoolander.
Zoolander, that's the best cameo ever.
I believe I might be of service.
Oh yeah, like David Bowie's Tesla, which is probably one of his greatest films. Did you hear as well that, is it Nolan who made that movie, I think? Where Nolan's like, I absolutely had to get David Bowie for that role. And I called him up and he said no. So I flew out to New York and asked him again and basically begged him to be in the movie. And David was like, okay, if you want me to be Tesla, I'll be Tesla. Just stop annoying me. And he just turns up and owned the movie in the 2 scenes he's in.
Mr. Angier, have you considered the cost of such a machine?
Price is not an object.
Perhaps not, but have you considered the cost?
That entrance in that where he walks through the electric...
So good. Thing is though, that could have been how we entered the DC universe. We could have had a DC universe where fucking David Bowie is God. You know what? That's my reality. Oh, god damn it, man. Enjoy what you should have worn as well. You should have worn the costume, but you should have worn the amalgamation of all these costumes from movies. You should have had the giant dick bulge, but you also should have had the wings, but then the Nikola Tesla lightning bolts coming down from the sky, and then the Zoolander text is underneath saying it's David fucking Bowie every time he's on screen. You could have done it.
I don't think we had a chance to mention it in the video because I found it in the research afterwards when we did the old Bowie video.
Do people know this? Like,
The Arreologist.
We need to tell people about this, right? The film Labyrinth is famous, like David Bowie's in Labyrinth, and he wears a very revealing costume where he's just got this ginormous, huge fucking codpiece. And Brad found out later on during his own research that people worship David Bowie's penis.
It's a religion.
Because they refer to it collectively as the area. And they call themselves Arreologists, and they believe that the answer to life and the universe exists within the confines of David Bowie's dick bulge. And you know what? I can't argue with them. Because as far as, like, you know, like Pastafarians and shit like that, I want them to fuck off and bring in Arreologists, man. Because Pastafarians do it to be arseholes, don't they? Oh, I'm wearing a colander on my head. And making fun of the idea of, like, you know, religious headgear. No, I want Arreologists with huge, giant fucking cod pieces walking around. Not some dipshit wearing a fucking pasta strainer on their head.
The priest at the front of the church has the hugest cod piece of all.
And as you attain levels, like in Scientology, you get a bigger and bigger cod piece. And then at the end of it, they take it off you and say the cod piece has been in you all along. And you find out your penis has grown 5 inches longer. And then a smiling David Bowie appears in the sky and goes like that. And you're like, thanks, David Bowie. And he's like, no worries, Karl.
What is it about smiling people in the sky?
Because I've always found that image so hilarious. The idea, just the face in the clouds, like slightly faded away, it's always cracked me up. Can you put that image together for me? Just a smiling David Bowie in the sky and then me below with a giant codpiece on. And just flash it on screen for a couple of seconds. Enjoy this image and we'll get back to your regularly scheduled content in a second.
And I'm floating in the most peculiar way.
Okay, so let's rein this back in.
Okay.
So let's talk again
about Lucifer Morningstar and David Bowie. Yes, because there is another interesting aspect of this story, and that's that Lucifer Morningstar, looking exactly like David Bowie, is considered so integral to his character that they were making the Lucifer TV show. They actively went out of their way to cast an actor who doesn't look like David Bowie.
Wait, no, you mean does look like Bowie?
No, doesn't look like David Bowie.
Lucifer Morningstar. Is that a stage name or something?
God-given, I'm afraid.
Why?
Because they considered David Bowie to be so cool that no actor alive today can capture the essential essence of what made him such an awesome guy. So they said, okay, so we hire an actor who's relatively unknown and looks nothing like him, so that aspect of his character isn't tarnished. And instead, what we're going to do is, like, you know, put subtle hints in there about Lucifer, the character, being a fan of David Bowie, which is somehow even fucking cooler. They went, David Bowie, yeah, he's so cool, we literally cannot find an actor badass enough or with a penis large enough to portray someone who's supposed to look like him on screen. So instead, we're going to hire some random chuckle fuck who looks nothing like him and say the character, who, remember, is like described to be a being of unimaginable power with absolute dominion over hell, who's lived for eons and has seen like the birth and death of countless universes and stars, is a fan of a guy who made music for 50 fucking years. Like, what is considered like a fraction of a second to a being this age? He's like, no, but you know what was cool? David fucking Bowie. Just think about what that means for a second though. Like, in the canon of that TV show universe, this character who's like witnessed the birth of universes, who's met God and seen heaven itself, is like, you know what though? David Bowie's a fucking baller. I like that dude. The fact that a single human being was able to like even have any sort of an impact on the personality of this like being that is basically second only to God. Like, how much does that say about how cool David fucking Bowie is? It's amazing that they actually had the balls to do it. It's like, you know what, we're just going to jack the likeness of this like super famous dude and get away with it. And you know what? He never complains, he never found out. So now technically, obviously, like Lucifer Morningstar's still a character in the comics. So they now have a character in the comics who's like one of the most powerful beings in all of existence in the canon of that universe. And he looks just like David Bowie. Okay, Brad, so today, since we've been talking about the DC Universe's interpretation of Lucifer from the Bible, aka the devil, what is your favourite interpretation of the devil in media?
There's a lot more than you think there are, won't you?
I didn't know there was that many, so I thought about it just then and went, oh, actually there was a shit ton, and they're all awesome. So what's your favourite?
I think I'll open with Robot Devil from Futurama.
Oh, that's a strong fucking devil right there. Because, like, not only has he got style, he's also fair. And I like interpretations of a devil where he's fair. Because there's obviously, they do the fiddle contest in that, don't they? Obviously, that's a reference to The Devil Went Down to Georgia, who is another fictional representation of the devil I love. Because if you listen to the lyrics of that song, the devil is actually the fairest motherfucker in the world. So he says, I'll bet you a fiddle of gold, I'll bet a fiddle of gold against your soul, because I think I'm better than you. Yeah. And Johnny beats him thoroughly, and the devil hands over the fiddle of gold. The devil, he doesn't try and trick him. He doesn't use his magical powers to make it so he wins. He doesn't declare himself the winner because he's the devil. He gives Johnny that fiddle of gold, and then Johnny tells it to fuck off. Do you know what my favourite part about that song is, though? If you can put in like a clip of it, it's the fact the devil can't play the fiddle.
The devil's shit.
So you listen to the song, put a clip in for people at home, like, you listen, the devil doesn't actually play the fiddle. His backing band does all the work, and he like plays a few lazy notes. And then Johnny fucking wrecks his arsehole. I think in the live version of that song, Johnny's fiddle solo goes on for like 20 fucking minutes. Like, Johnny does not use any lube when he's going in on the devil in that song. It's crazy. And the devil, even after all that, and then getting mocked by a mortal, hands over the fiddle of gold willingly and walks off. I love that. I'm a big fan of interpretation of the devil, where the devil's just like a dude who's like, I'm just trying to do my fucking job, man. I run hell. It's really stressful. I'm not trying to dick you over. I'm just trying to like do my fucking job. It reminds me a lot of the devil in Bedazzled, a film I'm gonna guess not a lot of people have seen or even remember, if they did see it, starring Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley.
God, I remember that.
It's a comedy where Elizabeth Hurley plays like a sexy female version of the devil. And the idea of that film is the devil will, like, in return for your immortal soul, will grant you 7 wishes. But the wishes, like monkey's paw wishes, where there's always a downside. And the idea there is to teach people, like, just wishing for material things isn't always, like, it's, what you wish for might not be what you actually want. Yeah. Like, he goes, I think the whole crux of the film is that Brendan Fraser's trying to get a girl. So he says, I want to be her perfect man. And the devil makes him into her perfect man, but also makes him gay. And obviously, and I like the idea that the moral at the end is, don't be selfish with what you want, because I think Brendan Fraser's character wishes for that girl to be happy, is his final wish, and the devil says, well, in the contract, which you didn't read, it's like 400 pages long, as the joke, it says if you make a non-selfish wish, it voids the contract, so you're free to go. And the devil in that's completely fair, and in the, like, I love that idea, the devil's like, yeah, you can go, that's fine. You should just read the contract and make it, you know, an actual proper wish. You got any more fictional devils you like? Because I think Elizabeth Hurley devil's up there. That's the devil. I can see why Satan is to worship that devil, to be fair.
I think I'll throw some at you.
Go on then, go for it.
What about South Park's devil?
Which devil's? Oh, the big buff devil.
Yeah, the big buff devil.
I love big buff devil.
He's in a relationship with Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, he's another one where he's just a guy trying to do his job. So, and I love interpretation of the devil where it's just a guy doing his job. Because in biblical canon, that's what Lucifer is. He's just a fallen angel who God's like, no, you got to rule hell. He's like, I fucking hate this. I don't want to do this, God. He's like, no, rule hell. You know another devil I like? The devil from Tribute, Tenacious D.
Oh, yeah.
If we mention, like, yeah. Because again, he's just a devil who says, play me a good song. When they play a good song, do you know what he does? He goes away. He fulfills his promise of leaving.
Unless you watch Pick of Destiny, where he doesn't go away because he thinks their song is shit.
Oh, what? No, don't ruin it for me.
Have you not seen Pick of Destiny?
No, I've not.
I think I have to mention Mark Pellegrino, Supernatural Devil, for everybody.
I've not seen Supernatural either. To close it off, though, we have to mention the greatest devil in any piece of media, and that's Flanders' devil in The Simpsons.
Oh, God, Flanders.
Just for the joke of when Homer's like, Flanders, you're the devil? Always the last person you expect. And the reason I love that devil is because the punishment he bestows on Homer is turning his head into a donut. And that's like one of the best jokes in The Simpsons, where like Homer's sat inside and they go, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to work. And it's like, I think that's a bad idea, Dad. And there's all the police sat outside with their coffee going, he's got to come out here sometime, boys.
He's got to come out of there sometime.
And I just love that sight gag of the police officers like, he's got to come out here sometime. Oh.